We are going to sow chili peppers for growing in pots, in the garden or on the balcony. When should I sow chili peppers for the best results? From late January until March, you can sow chili peppers indoors. If you're doing this for the first time, you may run into a few problems. I'll explain as many of them as possible here to help you along. To begin with, the timing of sowing is very important if you want your first harvest this summer. The first time I only sowed somewhere in May or June using seeds from a supermarket Madame Jeanette. The plant developed quite well, especially for a first attempt, but the peppers only started growing in October, which is too late to get a good harvest in the first year. I had given a third plant to my father-in-law after sowing, and he placed it indoors on the windowsill. While mine looked sad in October out in the garden, his looked much better indoors. Just look at how well his plant grew inside. In April, the huge plant already had to be moved to the table because it had become too big for the windowsill. The peppers you harvest indoors during the winter months stay small because there isn't enough sunlight to grow large peppers, and this big plant produced too many flowers to grow large fruits with so little light. But in the summer, the plant was moved outside, and on the balcony the peppers became much larger. So, when you sow is important if you want a nice harvest this year. If you're only seeing this video in April or May, you can still sow, but you'll only get a good harvest if you bring the plant indoors for the winter. Why aren't my chili seeds germinating or germinating very slowly? It's good to know that seeds from mild peppers germinate faster and at lower temperatures, such as 72 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Hotter varieties need higher temperatures to germinate and also take longer before you see anything sprouting. In recent years, I've been experimenting with a heat pack to keep the seeds warm, because I don't want to heat my house to 82 degrees Fahrenheit or higher for the Ajuma and Madame Jeanette varieties. 2 or 3 times a day I heat the pack in the microwave and place my mini greenhouse, basically a plastic container, on top of it. How deep should I sow chili seeds? If you're unsure how deep to sow, look at how thick the seeds are. You plant them about as deep as their thickness. You can see with mine that you definitely don't need to sow them deep to get them to germinate. I even sow them on wet toilet paper and only pot them up once they have sprouted. How much light do young chili seedlings need? I can tell from my seedlings that I don't have enough light in my house to grow peppers easily. Just look at how long and leggy this plant is. This was my first time growing peppers, and as a beginner you can quickly run into problems with insufficient light. To still give them enough light, I have to move the seedlings from one windowsill to another every day. In the morning they stand on one side of the house and in the afternoon they go to the other side. But even then I couldn't grow them properly, so last year I finally gave in and bought grow lights for the pepper seedlings. Early in the morning I turn the lights on, and when I go to bed in the evening I turn them off again. When should I transplant chili seedlings? When they germinate you first see the cotyledons, the long oval seed leaves. After that, the true leaves appear. You transplant at 2 to 4 true leaves. I personally don't transplant because I sow on toilet paper or I put one seed in a toilet paper roll. I don't make enough time for transplanting and often end up doing it too late, which is a waste with peppers. Now I usually only have to pick up 1 or 2 seedlings at a time when they sprout and quickly plant them into their own pot. That way I'm usually on time. Sometimes the seed shell stays stuck to the leaf. Don't just pull it off, because you need to be careful with the plant at this stage. Drip some water on the seed a few times so it softens, and then the seedling can unfold itself more easily. What nutrients do chili plants need and when? As soon as a chili plant starts growing its true leaves, I give water with a few drops of liquid fertilizer once a week. Because these are young seedlings, I don't follow the dosage on the bottle. That's meant for mature plants. Here you can see how I do it with the bell pepper plant that is overwintering, but I do the same with young chili seedlings. I put water with fertilizer in a tray and place the pots in it so they can soak up the water from below. The soil shouldn't become wet all the way to the top. The roots only need water at the bottom of the pot. The top layer can dry out without any problem. How do I prevent or control aphids on chili plants? When the care is good, the plants are stronger and can resist aphids better. Aphids love still, warm, humid air. To strengthen the seedlings and create some airflow, I place a small fan nearby now and then. That airflow makes it harder for aphids to crawl to the young growth tips. For this video, I pointed it directly at the seedlings, but that isn't necessary. Later, once it gets warmer outside during the day, but the nights are still cool, I place the seedlings outside every day during the day. Being outdoors is very good for their development, and if I do get aphids indoor, I can get help from ladybugs outside. They love eating aphids. If there are no ladybugs yet, I take a small brush and wipe the aphids off the plant outside. When can I harvest chili peppers? From late July, early August, you can start harvesting peppers. The more you pick, the more energy goes into developing new peppers from the flowers. Red peppers change from green to a darker shade and then gradually turn red. This way, you'll harvest your own peppers several times a week. If we get a nice summer, 2 plants can easily give you enough peppers for the rest of the year. Did you find this video helpful? Would you leave a like for me? Feel free to ask me any questions if you want to know more.